One of the first things that I learned by not achieving my national board the first time that you need to look at why you become a teacher in the first place. It certainly can't be all about you. It has to be about your goals in life and what you want to achieve and the legacy that you want to leave. We need to acknowledge that we will make mistakes, and as a teacher you are not infallible. It's just that you don't want to do it so publicly. But the thing about it is that if I tell my children and if I tell my students that they need to get up and they need to try again, that I needed to get up and I needed to try again and again and again if necessary. I had assumed that all these wonderful teachers on campus, these accomplished teachers that I admired, had gone through the process and achieved it the first time. Well, I have to tell you that when they found out I didn't make it, the ones who hadn't achieved it the first time just sort of came out of the woodwork. They came to me, they comforted me, they let me know that it was okay, and they shared with me their personal journey. Facing that thing that's sort of staring you down and deciding that you're not going to get the best of me, that you're going to conquer that, takes a little bit more effort. It takes more than just saying it. You not only have to do it cognitively and physically, but you have to find somewhere in your emotion that you have the courage and the strength and the fortitude to do that. The lesson that I needed to retake needed to incorporate rigor, relevance, and relationship. Not that those things are not a part of my practice, but the lesson that I submitted did not reflect that very well at all. First of all, there wasn't a lot of rigor. I could have picked a more challenging subject for my students and I to walk through together. Second, it wasn't very relevant. How could I make it more relevant? I need to develop relationships or strengthen relationships, not only with my students, but perhaps with their parents. How could I get them engaged in this process as well? I repeat things with my students. I don't assume that they caught it and learned it the first time. Goodness gracious, my little granddaughter, she gets up and walks, she falls, she gets up and walks, she falls, and so repetition is good. It is. Life is too short to play it safe, and it's too long to live with regrets. Basically, it means just go after what you want to in life, because if you don't, and the opportunity passes you by, you'll always wonder about the what ifs. And I knew that if I didn't pursue national board again, there would always be this huge what if over my head. And I didn't think I could live with that. I needed to pursue this. I shouldn't be afraid to travel down roads less traveled by me and maybe by others, things I was not comfortable with, things outside of my comfort zone. And I will tell you, at that period of time, I wasn't using technology in my class as much as I should have or could have. So I went to one of our campus techno gurus, as I call him, and I said, look, I've got this lesson that I think needs to be increased in its impact for students and as far as engagement. So not only did he give me some ideas on how I can use it within the lesson, but he also taught me how to use the technology so that I could create a model, an example for my students. I needed to just be a sensitive person, that I needed to cheer with those who were happy and excited and had achieved their national board process in this time, but also to be sensitive and weep with those who had disappointments. People all around us have good things and bad things happen to them every day, and you move on. The race is not given just to the swift, but to those who persevere to the end. It's not just achieving something that is the dream. The process itself is a very good thing. So pick yourself up, go for it again, and glean as much as you can from the process. I didn't get the score that I needed to be called an accomplished teacher or a national board certified teacher, but I won in the sense that I was a better teacher. My students gained because I was a better teacher, because I had the opportunity to do that scrutiny and to grow and to make major changes in my practice. I grew immensely. It's like I went from a 1 to a 5, but I still needed to get to a 10. So was there growth? Yes.